Welcome once again, my friends. In the previous lecture, we talked about the way India has evolved itself in non-ferrous metals with a primitive history, lost our way in between. Then it has come back to where it was originally, its preeminent position, how the various government policies curtailed or suppressed the growth of the non-ferrous metals industry, and after the economic liberalization, how opportunities have unfolded by itself, and the Indian companies going in a big way in global acquisitions, takeover of mines, takeover of downstream companies, international companies trying to come to India to exploit its natural resources, and the way the production, consumption, usage of non-ferrous metals has been consistently witnessing impressive growth rates during the last few years. And we concluded by talking about what kind of strategies Indian government, India as a whole should adopt in mining, in exploration, in R&D, in market development, and in creating a sustainable energy environment friendly recycling industry in this country. That is where we concluded. Now, let us look at the downstream applications, the markets for instance, one of the metals, how the growth of metals, steel or non-ferrous metals, their future, their fortunes are very closely linked with the economic growth of our country. If you look at this picture, we are going to be talking about the various downstream applications of zinc and lead. What are the key drivers, the motivating forces for increasing the consumption of zinc and lead? In the case of zinc, more and more of zinc is being consumed by the steel industry by coating or galvanizing of various steel items. As I said in my previous lecture, sheets, steel sheets, corrugated sheets, plain sheets, galvanized steel pipes, galvanized structurals in various applications, galvanized drums, galvanized buckets. So, more and more of zinc is being used in the steel industry, and therefore, the future of zinc, the fortunes of zinc very closely linked with the steel usage pattern in any country. The other factor would be whether a country, that particular country has got enough of domestic production of zinc, domestic availability of zinc to use in various applications. One is the steel, the other is the zinc availability. Now, more and more of steel and more of non-ferrous metals, they are all used in several infrastructural sectors. Steel is noticed very prominently, and non-ferrous metals are also there, which are not visible enough, but I am going to be highlighting where they are used. For instance, in infrastructural sector, as I mentioned in the previous lecture, the aluminum conductors carry the electricity produced in one location to a destination user point several hundred kilometers away, and all those transmission line towers, power transmission line towers, they are made of steel, mild steel angles, and this is one structure which should be protected from corrosion, and there are several methods of corrosion protection. You can electroplate a steel article, you can paint a steel article, you can have a metal coating, metallic coating, and that is where zinc comes readily. Each non-ferrous metal has very specific property advantage. Zinc is an excellent corrosion resistant material. Zinc also gets consumed in the atmospheric reactions, but at a very slow rate of attack. It consumed very slowly, and therefore, it is able to prolong the steel which is coated with zinc. Now, the transmission line towers are one such structures which have to be maintenance free for a long time. You can't think of maintaining a transmission line tower periodically every 2-3 years, which means you have to shut off the power supply, and the users, they do not get power for several days, industry production comes down, the agricultural pump sets will not work because there is no power, and there are vital structures, vital establishment like a hospital for instance, transport movement, communication. These need electricity continuously, which means the transmission line towers have to be maintenance free, and that is where zinc is coated on the transmission line tower made of steel. And power is one of the infrastructural growth areas where government is putting lots and lots of money to increase the power generation in the country to meet the future needs of power. So, in the infrastructural sector, zinc is used very widely, power is one, the railway electrification towers, transport sector, railway electrification, steel structures, they are all coated with zinc again for maintenance free protection. You are also seeing plenty of mobile phones with everyone now, everyone having 2 mobile phones or 3 mobile phones, personal, official, all those things are happening in the country. Now, so much of mobile growth, telecom growth, you also have to have cell phone signal towers erected on the rooftops, on the highways, and unless these signals you get in your mobile, your instrument does not work. And cell phone towers again are protected with zinc galvanizing, hot dip galvanizing to give a maintenance free protection. There are many installations like power transmission, telecom structures, railway electrification structures which need maintenance free protection for a long time, 30, 40, 50 years depending on the coating thickness, zinc coating thickness you apply. And therefore, in the infrastructural sectors, telecom, power, transport, many other areas, highways which you will be seeing later, zinc is used plenty. Coming to lead, again let us have a look at the driving forces, the motivating factors. One is lead is used, as you saw in the previous lecture, about 75-80% of lead is being used in the lead acid batteries, lead batteries. Now, most of the batteries, they are all used in the automotive vehicles which we use, whether it is a passenger car, a scooter, a sports utility vehicle, a bus, a coach, whatever you think of, all of them are powered with lead acid batteries for starting, lighting and igniting the engine. Nowadays, the requirement of energy per car has also increased. You have a lot of power driven devices in the car, like the windscreen going up and down, you have a button and that is motorized, and for that you need energy from the lead acid batteries. So, the energy requirement in a car has also increased, apart from starting and lighting and your wiper blade moving in the car when there is a rain, etc. There are many things like CDs and radios and many things operating in the car, all of which need power. So, the lead acid battery is a very essential key input in an automobile industry. IT industry, again computer industry, each computer has to have a backup, because in our country, various parts of the country you have power shutdowns, when power goes, when it comes, very unpredictable, particularly in summer months, and therefore you have to have an energy backup, uninterrupted power source for your computer, and that is again having a lead acid battery, a portable energy source. Power supply, again power shortage in many parts of the country, and therefore inverter energy backup for the houses, the banks, railway stations and hospitals, schools, colleges, technology parks, everywhere you need energy backup. That means an inverter, rows and rows of lead acid batteries which give continuous power supply even if there is a power shutdown. Therefore, lead has these factors: automotive industry, IT industry, and the power availability in the country, which decides the growth of the country. Lead and zinc are linked with these various factors. You see beautiful pictures, ingots of zinc, ingots of lead, which are made from natural resources or from even secondary sources. That is, those waste products or scrapped material which contain lead or zinc, which is recycled and reused, recycled, reused, etc. Continuously. Now, as I told you in the initial remarks, the future of steel and the future of zinc industry, they are very closely interdependent, very closely interlinked. In this picture, you see the zinc production from 2004-5 to 2007 to 2008. That you can see in terms of million tons, 0.25, 0.23 or so, going to about 0.45, 0.46, continuous growth, and it follows a very similar growth in steel production on the other side. That is in million tons, 40, 50, 60 on the y axis you see, that is steel production, million tons. But the interesting thing is both are very closely following similar growth patterns in production. More steel you produce, more zinc you consume. More steel you use in the country, produced in the country or imported into the country, more steel you use in the country, you need more zinc for coating them. 80% as you saw goes in galvanizing of various steel articles. I was telling you the future of India, how we are putting plenty of money, huge investments in various infrastructural sectors. What you see here are the investments during the 11th 5-year plan period 2007 to 2012, power, telecom, highways, ports, aviation, all these sectors. So much money is flowing now, GDP growth is there, the people want new style of living, they want new products, new services, suppressed demand in the country, and so much money is being put in these sectors. Aviation, you see most modern airports coming up in the country, smaller airports are being upgraded and new airports are coming. Seaports, again the port expansion is taking place in the country, and highways, you see so much happening in this country, 2-laning, 4-laning, express highways, state of the art highways that is coming up in the country in different parts, and there we are going to put lots and lots of money, as you are seeing here. Telecom again, India is the fastest growing mobile market in the world after China. And power, again India needs huge amount of power, one for the growing population and also for the other uses like industrial, agricultural uses, etc. Therefore, we do need a lot of power generation to be increased, and therefore, so much money is being put in power sector. So, that is the way things are geared up, and you see now in this picture what I mentioned earlier, so much money flowing, the government's intention, and the people looking for this kind of facilities. The metro, which used to be in Calcutta, now a success story. The most modern metro transport system has come in Delhi. The world leaders are appreciating the facility that has come in Delhi, rapid transit systems, and this is now coming up, metros are coming up in other cities too, in Mumbai, in Hyderabad, in Chennai, etc. And also the buses, the public transportation, the coaches, the type of coaches you see in the country as you see anywhere else in the world. This is the order of the day, the more and more such coaches, high capacity buses for peak traffic movement, and they are all, some of them air conditioned, some of them are non-air conditioned, having plenty of non-ferrous metals, engine blocks for instance, they are all huge aluminum engine blocks there, plenty of lead acid battery there for such heavy vehicle to be moved and started and lighting, etc. And what you see in the picture, the lower picture is an airport complex, a new airport complex just coming up. So much metal is being used, so much steel is being used, and many of them are coated with zinc, galvanized steel, and the roofing sheet that you will use, they will be color coated or pre-painted steel sheets. Color coated means the steel sheets are coated with zinc, a coating on the top of the steel, and above the zinc coating you will have various organic colored coatings to give a good visual appearance, blue, green, whatever colors that you want. So much of non-ferrous metals are also being used there when this kind of new airports, upgradation of airports are coming up, etc. And this is the order of the day. Now, what is the story now? Now, what are the various markets in India where India is suddenly coming up in a big way? You have conventional applications of galvanized material, sheets, corrugated sheets for roofing, sheds, etc., GI pipes, zinc coated pipes, bringing water to the homes and offices, schools, etc., and the galvanized fencing wire or the barbed wire, etc. These are all the established applications, and even the others like I mentioned earlier, the transmission line towers coated with zinc, galvanized transmission line towers, galvanized telecom or cell phone signal towers, galvanized railway electrification towers. They are all steel basically, but they are coated with zinc. These are all the proven, well established markets in India. Now, the money that is coming up, the investment that is being put in the infrastructural sectors, that has thrown up again new markets for many metals, non-ferrous metals. In the picture that you are seeing, the highway there, beautiful highway, is a 2-lane highway, and you see there a highway guardrail running on both sides, which used to be the order of the day, fashion of the day in other countries, highway guardrails, crash barriers for safety of the people who are driving at high speeds, and there are no men or cattle crossing across, etc. This kind of crash barriers, as we call it, or guardrails. They are now a common thing in India, and they are all special steel sections coated with plenty of zinc, again galvanized guardrails or crash barriers, and that is going miles and miles and miles across. The lower picture you are seeing a construction material, a ribbed bar, a reinforcing steel. Normally we use steel reinforcing in the RCC structures, columns, in all our infrastructural activities or buildings, etc. But in coastal areas where corrosion will be a major factor, any construction in the coastal areas, it could be a bridge, it could be a flyover, it could be a water tank, it can be a defense establishment. So, all these places where the concrete will be prone to attack, and later on the attack goes into the reinforcing steel, which is attacked by the corroding medium, and there is a rust formation on the steel. There is an expansion, volume expansion of the rust, and that volume expansion leads to removal or disintegration of the concrete layer on top, and then you have the ugly signs of patches and concrete having fallen off, and you see rust stains and weepings, rust weepings, etc., which is an ugly sign. Now, such areas where corrosion can be a major nuisance, you do coat them with many materials, and one of the most common which are used in many countries, Australia, South Africa, United States, etc., is to galvanize them, used to coat them with zinc and put the zinc coated reinforcing steel in such infrastructural projects, such RCC structures in coastal areas, whereby corrosion will be minimized and the concrete cracking or rust stain, etc., will not take place. Therefore, this is another market. The Lotus Temple in Delhi, the Baha'i temple, they have used about 300 tons of reinforcing steel, and that is a monumental structure to last for about 200 years without any rust, without any concrete cracking, something like Taj Mahal, for instance, a white structure, and that is why they used 300 tons of galvanized rebar, copying the example of the Sydney Opera House in Australia, which is right in the sea water. It is exposed to sea water continuously. So, that model was taken as an example, and in India, in Baha'i temple, we have used this. Similarly, if you look at many constructions in and around Bombay, very heavy monsoon there, marine conditions, saline condition, corrosion is a nagging phenomenon there. So, in Mumbai and many other locations, including Ahmedabad, their river project, they have used galvanized rebars. Now, the idea here is you are able to prolong the life of RCC structures without any need for maintenance, without any need for touch-ups in between. So, galvanized rebar is another huge unfolding market, especially when we are putting lots and lots of money in infrastructural projects, including the highways, etc., in the coastal belts. You see a middle picture there, that is your telecom tower, cell phone mobile tower. This is a common sight now, and all of them, all the steel structure there is again coated with zinc, molten zinc through hot dip galvanizing, and later on they are given different color codes, red and white, etc., for identification purposes. So, that is again a common application that you are seeing in the country, new market. And the one that is standing there, a high mast lighting column, a huge tall lighting column, and these are all galvanized in 2-3 assemblies, and then they are put one above the other, and then it is erected, and these are all again galvanized, hot dip galvanized, and these were originally imported. India used to import these high mast lighting columns a few years back, but now you have more and more of domestic players in India, Calcutta, Pune, Mumbai, many of them galvanizing these high mast lighting columns. They are very common in the airport complexes, in railway yards, in vantage points in cities, above the flyovers, etc., so that you are able to illuminate at a very significant height a large area, very bright illumination all around, and that is again coated with molten zinc. Again, that is another infrastructural sector, electricity being used very wisely and to light many parts of our highways and airports, seaports, railway yards, etc. Now, what you are seeing here, power generation, you are seeing the transmission line towers galvanized in the backdrop of sunrise or sunset, and that is going miles and miles and miles, and all of them steel with zinc galvanized transmission line towers. And by 2012, the government of India wants to add 90,000 megawatt of electricity in the country into our grid, and that we will be achieving by new power generation capacity and also expansion of the existing players. Now, this kind of power sector growth, we also need plenty of transmission line towers to carry the power to long distance safely and economically. And 11th 5-year plan, as per the projection, we need about 7 lakh metric tons of transmission line towers, so much of steel and so much of zinc for coating them, maintenance free protection, as I said earlier. Now, because of this kind of a growth in power sector, there are many new players entering this growing market, and also the existing players are also expanding their galvanizing capacities to meet the emerging demand of transmission line towers from this sector. And let me also tell you, one is the domestic power sector growth, and India has been a very important turnkey player to many countries in supplying transmission line towers, erecting them, installing them, designing them, testing them, and putting them into efficient operation in many countries. Many developed and developing countries, you will see Indians having put up such transmission line towers over long distances in Africa, in Latin America, in Australia. So, India is also a big player, and that means we have shown our expertise in galvanizing, in designing, in erecting them, and we have mastered the art of the transmission line tower business. So, this is the way India has been growing both domestically and internationally. Now, you are seeing high mast lighting columns on the picture there, right side, a shop floor picture, where they are trying to galvanize high mast column in pieces. That is probably the base which you are seeing there at the thing, and they just put one over the other after galvanizing as segments. Now, Bajaj Electrical is a big player in the country, and because of the growing demand, they are doubling their capacity, and as I said earlier, more and more new players are also coming into the business of galvanizing or zinc coating these high mast lighting columns. The other picture, you are seeing a typical city now in India, nice highways, but what you should also notice is the galvanized lamp poles. For many, many decades India, we used to be painting them with aluminum just to give a corrosion protection, but for a very short limited life. Paint does not give a long life. It could be there for 2 years, 3 years. One monsoon or humidity in the location will eat away all those paints. The paints get removed, and the underlying steel starts getting affected by corrosion. So, they were giving short term protection, but today many public works departments, central public works department, many city municipal corporations, they have realized instead of giving repetitive painting, which is costlier in a very short time, it is better to give a slightly costlier 10% costlier protection method, coating material through zinc 10 to 15% more, but you get an advantage for life, maybe 40-50 years without any touch up needed there, a maintenance free protection, and you save a lot of money also. So, that is the thing that you are seeing in that picture. Now, telecom sector, again I told you earlier, mobile, India, the second largest mobile wireless market after China. A few years back, Ernst & Young, they did a study about the mobile market. At that time, the mobile subscriber used to be 336 million in this country. Today, you will be surprised, we have just crossed 500 million. That is 500 million, they are having mobile phones in this country. And almost every month we add about 10 million mobile phones. Mobile phones, again, as I told you earlier, the body is made of magnesium, for instance, a non-ferrous metal which is light in weight, and every month we are adding 10 million, and this kind of a growth you will need about 90,000 to 1 lakh cell phone signal towers, telecom towers per annum, 1 lakh towers per annum, which is a huge growth. You are seeing the picture there, a cell phone structure there, passive infrastructure as it is called many times. It is very passive, it is not playing any active role, it is just communicating the signals to your instrument. And by March 2009, we had almost about 2,50,000 towers, this kind of towers galvanized with steel, zinc, and then painted later on. Now, at that time when they did a study, Ernst & Young, the tele density in India was only 32%. That is, out of 100 persons, only 32% were having mobile phones that time. Currently, it is around 42% now, which is a good going, which is a good growth. And by 2012, in another 2 years, 60% of mobile users in rural India you would be seeing across the country. That means more and more rural market penetration. Plenty of mobile phones you will see in the hands of agricultural farmers and those who are doing other activities in the rural areas. They will all be having mobile phones. It is easy for you to talk to them. It is easy for them to talk to anybody they like in Delhi, or whether their sons are in other parts of India or overseas, they will be able to talk to them without any limitation. So, that is the way telecom sector also is growing in this country. Highway sector, you see beautiful pictures here. We never had good highways. Highways are very essential for the country for rapid movement of material, men, goods, etc. And you see the state of the highways coming in the country after a long time, and the government has got some prestigious projects here, plenty of money again here. Golden Quadrilateral, that is connecting the 4 metros, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata, that is a Golden Quadrilateral project, and north-south Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and east-west maybe Guwahati to somewhere in Gujarat. So, that is going to be east-west highway projects. So, crisscrossing and also Golden Quadrilateral, you will have this kind of express highways. The point that I am trying to tell you is, you will have plenty of steel used there and plenty of zinc also used there for corrosion protection of the guardrails, the lamp post, the sign posts. There are many other structures which will all be coated with non-ferrous metal, and country is going for 6 laning, 4 laning, widening, etc. Now, many of them have different models, they just build, the owners they build, operate for some time and then transfer it to somebody else. And the public private partnership venture, it is not only the government which is putting money, they are also joining hands with private sector from India, from companies in countries like Malaysia for instance, joining hands with many others, so that you have global facilities, global highways in this country. Again you are seeing here metros, metro transport, which is now becoming a common thing. Delhi was the beginning, and then other cities are all now active with their metro projects. Now, what you are seeing there in the metro coaches there, and above that you see the electrification structures, which are all steel and then again coated with molten zinc or galvanized steel. And the other picture you see a blue sheet, that is a metro rail station, and these are all again galvanized and then given a color coat, sort of a blue coating on top, and that is again coated with zinc underneath. And what is happening here is there are more and more metros coming up in the country, which means plenty of steel, plenty of zinc, plenty of color coated product. You will see all this coming up in this sector. Galvanized rebar, I mentioned to you that Baha'i temple, Lotus Temple in Delhi, the one that you are seeing and during construction stage. Today if you go and see, it looks beautiful, a white marble piece like Taj Mahal, and that is the early stages of construction. You can see the crane there, and below that you see galvanized reinforcing steel, 300 tons of galvanized rebars which were used inside, so that there is no need for any touch up, any repair or maintenance during the life of the Lotus Temple, monumental structure, 200 years as I told you earlier, no way it should have any defects in the building, and that is how galvanized rebar was chosen. And the other picture you are seeing during construction stage, a guest house in Mangalore, again a coastal town, where corrosion can be a nuisance, buildings will have limited life. These galvanized rebars have a huge opportunity in this country. It's unlimited, I would say, and the way we are putting plenty of money in our infrastructure projects, airports, highways and seaports, etc., in the coastal areas particularly, or those areas where constructions are being done, where the water that you will be using for concrete mixing contains high chlorides. There are some specific locations in the country where the water could contain high chlorides, and there you can't use the normal steel, and that will be eaten away in no time, and therefore you will have to go for galvanized rebar there. So, this is again another application where we are not exploited fully, and the markets are unlimited here, applications are unlimited. Here you see another application, the right side, beautiful bathroom fitting, a gold plated wash basin bathroom fitting there, and there that is a zinc die cast product plated with gold containing medium, gold plating, and that is again a zinc die cast component. And on the other side you see small die cast components under the market potential pictures. You see small heat sinks. These are die cast components which are used in computers, in TVs. When you use them continuously, they generate so much heat, and that heat has to be absorbed by a component and dissipated, otherwise you will have overheated electronic gadgets, and this heat sink essentially absorb the heat and dissipate the heat, and very small precision gears as you see in the bottom picture, they are all zinc die cast, very delicate, intricate thin wall products are all die cast. And then you have the hot chamber machine, which are very essential for casting of zinc die cast components, and their hot chamber machines, you have such an operation whereby you can produce about 10 million components over a period of time. Is the fastest means, fastest methods are available through die casting, by which you are able to convert a molten metal to the finished product in the shortest time possible, and million pieces coming in this kind of a machine, which is very good for the meeting the needs of the automobile sector, the IT sector and other sectors, etc. Now, you are seeing another application, growing application in the country, zinc sulphate, which is a very essential micronutrient in the agricultural sector of India. Now, many parts of the country, as you see the zinc map there, below that you have a write up, zinc deficiency map of India. The soil contains all kinds of metals, minerals, and due to continuous crops round the year, the zinc level gets depleted, zinc level gets reduced, and that is how the zinc deficiency has been noticed in many parts of the country, and the various colors indicate different levels of zinc deficiency. Now, this zinc deficiency has to be made up by some other means. The way that we adopt is the zinc sulphate is mixed with other fertilizers, NPK or urea, and then these are all sprayed into the soil, and this zinc sulphate gets into the soil, and thereby the zinc level in the soil goes up. And what happens is, once the zinc level goes up in the soil, any produce that you get from agriculture, whether it is vegetables or grains or rice or wheat or whatever, they all take that much zinc from the agricultural soil, and these kind of agricultural produce, they contain sufficient zinc in them. So, when human beings or cattle or animals, when they use various agricultural produce, they also have the zinc intake going into the human body, and every human body needs a particular level of zinc. Zinc is very essential for health as a nutrient, and there are other minerals also, other metals also, which I am going to be touching later, very essential for human metabolism, for our health, for the various attributes of good health or wellness, as I would call it. Now, this zinc sulphate is very widely used in the country, very widely applied, and they are largely manufactured from the zinc ash or zinc skimming waste products. These are all inevitable wastes coming from the galvanizing plant. The waste generated during galvanizing contain high levels of zinc, and therefore, they are recycled, they are converted into zinc sulphate, which is a good thing, good in the name of sustainable development. Therefore, we are able to convert a waste product from one industry to a useful material for our agricultural sector, and a large number of SMEs, small and medium enterprises, small companies manufacturing zinc sulphate, they buy the local zinc or zinc skimming from the galvanizers, and that is converted into zinc sulphate, and that goes into the soil. Now, coming to this story, lead automobile. As in the case of zinc, as I told you, the future of lead is again linked with the automobile industry in any country, more so in our country. Here you can see lead production in one graph in 1000 tons, that is primary lead mostly. We have not taken the lead recycled, secondary lead into that picture, but whatever it is, the important thing to be noticed is the lead production and the automobile production in million numbers. They are more or less following a similar growth trend. More automobile production, more lead acid batteries. There is a small dip in 2007, 2008, when the prices of various nonferrous metals went very high. Then the production of automobiles suffered, the demand from the consumers were less, and that is the way the production went down during a particular time. But later on, with the stimulus packages announced by the country, the interest rates having come down, the loans being made available for vehicle purchase, etc., the automobile production is again increasing. But the point is the growth trend is more or less similar both in lead and in automotive industry. This is a point which I told you earlier quite in depth. Lead acid batteries, the growth trends in India, the galloping automobile population, all the global players in two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, coaches, they are all in India manufacturing different types of vehicles, and all of them need lead batteries for various starting, lighting, igniting, etc. applications. Power inverters, the power backup for various parts of the country, that is again another growth area. UPS for computer, backup for the computer, that is again a lead acid battery instrument there. Now, the other aspect which our country, we are putting lots and lots of emphasis, and a lot of money is going to come flow into this area also, solar energy, wind energy, etc. Now, in these cases when you generate energy, whether from solar means or from the wind, etc., you have to store this energy, and after storing it has to be tapped for various applications, which means there is a need for a storage battery there. Therefore, that is again another growth area. Many parts of the country, in Tamil Nadu, in Gujarat, in Rajasthan, you see lots and lots of windmill towers coming up, something like what you see in Holland perhaps. So, these also will need lead acid batteries for storage. And the last one is the electric vehicles, battery driven vehicles. When the price of oil, the petrol, diesel, etc., goes up, everyone looks for alternatives, whether you can reduce your petrol or diesel usage, or whether you can have any other means, CNG driven vehicles or lead acid battery used electric vehicles, for instance. This electric vehicle is something which is catching up very fast in the country. The two-wheelers, we have made a success. Honda, for instance, Hero Honda has come up with a number of electric scooters. TVS scooters, they have also come up with a number of electric vehicles, battery scooters, and these are all running for limited distances. There is a battery there, you charge the battery, you start the vehicle, drive, noise free, pollution free, silent riders, and once you run for 60, 70, 75 kilometers, when the battery gets discharged, again you go for charging them in your house, in your office, and then again you charge the battery and you take the vehicle for further movement. And this is again a growing activity, and some parts of the country already companies have come for setting up charging stations, battery charging stations, where you can go and get your battery charged in your house or office, or you will have readily charged batteries, which you just take and give your discharged batteries, put the charged batteries, and you start keep moving. So, this is again a growing thing that is happening in the country. You all would have heard about Reva electric vehicle from Bangalore, small car, and the government, both center and state, they have given lot of incentives now by way of taxes, by way of insurance, by way of waiving registration for the vehicle, etc. They want to promote more and more of electric vehicles, especially if it is going to be single driven or for small distances or traveling within a city, and this electric vehicle is catching up now. Practically all the vehicle manufacturers are also working on this. Now, Nano will be again, Nano today will be a petrol driven car, but very soon you will find it as an electric vehicle. It is there, it is in their agenda. And similarly, Mahindra and Mahindra and a number of companies who are all working on electric vehicles of their current production ranges. And because of these various growths, the battery industry, lead battery industry is witnessing double-digit growths. You see here different types of vehicles I was mentioning, Reva on the top, e-scoot, and there is again a scooter there, and nano there, picture of nano there, which could be an electric vehicle very soon. Now, windmill energy, solar energy, again a lead acid battery has to be there at the base to store the energy, and the towers, the steel structurals, they will be steel, but then they will be coated with zinc. So, zinc would be there, lead would be there, and this is the way metal is, metals are having a very silent role. Now, lead and zinc markets conditions are very ideal in the country, the markets are growing, the economic growth is on a high growth momentum, more and more money on infrastructure, more steel being used, and increased zinc production in the country, and more lead battery recycling will be there in the country. You are going to be producing and using more lead acid batteries. So, after 2 years they become a scrap battery, it has to be recycled. Therefore, that battery recycling will be a growing activity. We have to have more and more environment friendly lead recycling in those areas. The domestic demand for both lead and zinc is increasing, and the export prospects, whether lead acid battery or galvanized products or dry cells or electric vehicles, is a huge export prospect. To accelerate, we have new market development initiatives which we should do in this country. Now, having said so much about industrial applications, now I am going to tell you quickly, metals also play very crucial application in our health, in our wellness. This is not known to many people. Many medicines contain zinc, copper, etc., in different forms, calcium. Now, health is wealth, as I mentioned there, and healthy body is where the healthy mind also lives, and an average human body will contain 8 to 10 kgs of all these minerals, calcium, zinc, copper, sodium, magnesium, potassium. Now, calcium is very essential for your teeth and bones, and it has got several important advantages in blood clotting, nerves working, muscles working, etc. And the dietary reference intake for calcium for men and women, 1000 milligram for men and women in the age bracket 19 to 50, 1200 mg for men and 51 and above. Now, zinc is very essential for human health. You see the picture there, Zincofix cream and other things, and more than 300 enzymes require zinc for proper functioning. Zinc has got a good disease resistance, wound healing, digestion, reproduction, physical growth, etc. So, zinc supplementation control diarrhea, pneumonia, measles, malaria, common cold. There are number of advantages of zinc. Zinc deficiency will have the following adverse effects: neuro-related functions, immune disorders, skin-related diseases, lethargy, loss of appetite, reduced wound healing, growth retardation. All this would happen. The recommended daily zinc intake would be this much. In infants, about 5 milligram per day. Children, men, women, pregnant ladies need more, because they need zinc for them and also for the growing baby, the growing fetus in their womb. So, therefore, they need more zinc there. You see here varieties of dishes there, they all contain fish, chicken, veg and vegetable, they all contain different levels of zinc. The meats contain more of zinc, not that I am canvassing for this, they have more of zinc, but you can have more of green vegetables to increase your zinc intake. Potassium is very essential again for functioning of muscle, nerves, etc., and it regulates high BP, and the daily minimum requirement is 1600 to 2000 mg. Iodine again very essential, comes from the water that you are drinking or from the iodized salt, and daily requirement is 100 to 150 micrograms. Now, magnesium, they are present in small quantities, it forms a bone substance along with calcium, and this is also very essential. Sodium, it regulates the fluid level in the body, and it is also found in food additives, sweetener, etc. And a teaspoon, if you take, it contains about 2000 mg sodium, and sodium is very essential for our body. Any excess goes in the excretions. Copper again essential for human health. 1 to 2 milligram for adults, 0.5 to 1 milligram for children, energy metabolism, functioning of nervous system, maintaining the metals balance, all these are achieved by copper, and any copper deficiency leads to stomach upset, nausea, diarrhea, etc. To conclude, as I mentioned, non-ferrous metals play very important roles in our society, lesser noticed unfortunately, but they play very critical roles in industry, in agriculture, in infrastructure, in health, in wellness, etc. Now, the country is growing, seeing quantum jump growths in non-ferrous metals, high growth industry. It is million ton players coming up here, and all of them, they need plenty of young metallurgical engineers, young material scientists for variety of jobs, market development, technical services, for shop floor jobs. So, we need plenty of metallurgical engineers, material scientists, and this industry, non-ferrous industry, they are all paying attractive compensations now, attractive packages. Companies like Vedanta, companies like Birlas, they are all global companies now, and they need best brains, and that can come from our youngsters. And the opportunities that are unfolding in our industry, in our research, in our teaching institutes is really huge, and India should not suffer from want of human resource for our needs. And when we are poised for quantum jump growth, we should have plenty of young men and women coming forward, taking such attractive jobs, attractive roles, exploit India's natural resource to the fullest advantage. And this is where I think I would like all the youngsters. Every sector is growing, but this sector is also growing and offers enormous opportunities, global postings in India. Therefore, now would you be interested? In case you are interested, please consult your seniors in the industry, consult bodies like Indians of Metals, consult your professors, consult your heads of departments. We would like to counsel, we would like to guide the youngsters and take good career choices. Creativity, your innovation appetite can be satisfied by going for such kind of jobs. Computer does not give a long term satisfaction. It is a keyboard, it is a mouse, and there is no creativity. And when you are young, you are looking for so much of challenges, you are looking for achievement in creativity, and that can come by appropriate choices in industry, in teaching, in research, etc. Thank you very much.